New York, and on the new Hot 97 app. Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
So the Revolt Summit went down over the weekend, and I feel like there was a healthy dialogue. They invited Candace Owens in the room, who, you know, she's been working to get into the rooms and have these conversations with black audiences that she normally has with her white supremacist MAGA maniac audiences. And she wants to get in there and debate. And, you know, she was one of the people who often, alongside, and she got the ear of Kanye West, propagated the idea that, you know, black people are only Democrats, which we've said on this show from the beginning, that's some bullish. There's plenty of black conservatives out here. There's black people in all now. Are more black people Democrats? Yes. And that's usually because the person repping for the GOP is on some bullish and is aligned with either some racist-ass white people and some white supremacy out there, or just some crazy ideas.
You know, or policies that just don't benefit poor people or people of color at all.
So anyway, we played the audio about 15 minutes ago. I don't know if I could tolerate it again, but I guess it sets it up nicely. So play the T.I. clip right there, the third one. There you go. Run that. This is T.I. and Candace Owens.
When you say make America great again, which period are we talking about? The period when women couldn't vote? The period when we were hanging from trees?
I'll answer.
Or like the crack era? Which period in America are you trying to make America like again?
I actually think that I would totally rock a hat right now that said make Black America great again. Because Black America,
make America.
Before,
We're talking about make America. That wasn't the question.
I am answering your question.
Which period was America great that we're trying to replicate?
Well,
which era was it? Tell me.
I think I'll answer your question.
Tell me.
I'm ready to answer your question.
Which era was it?
What?
Which era was so great?
Here's the thing that you guys are forgetting. America was actually one of the slavery was all over the world. All over the world. America was. I'm not saying it's okay. So why are you saying oh?
Hey man.
America was one of the first countries.
I want to like you so bad.
I'm trying to answer your question.
Smart. I want to like you so much.
I can't answer the
question. I want to hear you.
I
want to be able to hear them. I want to be able to hear them.
If I can't answer the question and you're just going to boo when I say slavery was all over the world, which is a fact, why are you booing a fact?
Because you're making light of.
No, I'm not.
You're making light
I
of
haven't
the
gotten to my points. I'm not
of
making
people that look like us. You can't make light of that. That ain't nothing you
I
breeze
haven't even
over.
finished the sentence. How am I making light of anything?
You started with some bullshit.
Okay.
So, you know, wrong room for her to be not getting to the point, right? A room full of black folks who are ready to slice her throat. Killer Mike came in and tried to provide some clarity. This is a longer clip, but I think there's some great things in here that will help people, I think.
What y'all are seeing right now are free people arguing over who got the best master. Oh yeah. So, we're going to go back to silent. Let's register this shit back down. We're going to lock this back down. So, I'll tell you when America was great. 7 years after the ending of the Civil War.
Exactly what
Candace, because you didn't give the comment, so you weren't prepared for that one. No, but that's not to jump on Candace, because again, I'm disagreeing with my friend. 7 years after the end of the Civil War, blacks within 7 to 15 years accumulated over 15 million acres of land. Hold on, before we get to clapping, because the niggas bought some shit. Black people were the only skilled labor in there. So if it was welding to be done, iron bending, cotton picking, it was black people. So instantly, your value became more. And Candace has a point. The point that she made about illegal immigration affecting you is that it's going to affect you at some point. Why? If the Kegel Chicken Factory is hiring illegal immigrants at an undercut on the rate, it affects the black people who live there who should be demanding $20 an hour because they're being undercut. So when they get wiped out, they have to hire blacks, pay them, and unionize. So she's right on that. But hold the fuck on, I'm not finished. You have to remember that people who look like you immigrate too. So before you widely say Fuck them all. Remember, America is always going to have a slave class. And if illegal immigrants or legal immigrants will not be the lowest paid workers, those in prison will be, and that always ends up looking like one of their sons. So it circles back around. So that's why people who are black, who are from 2 different plantations, got to get the fuck away from massa.
So the debate goes on. And the reason I wanted to play this clip and basically have a conversation with the audience today is because we've said on this show many, many times, I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I'm an independent. I'm registered as an independent. But as we enter the 2020 election cycle, right, there is something that we always talk about on this show, and that is local politics. And there's a lot of issues on the table that we only activate when there's a president. And I think locally with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, district attorneys, even dealing with the mayor, dealing with things in New York City for the police, I think we've all done a great job at even Queens district attorney.
Right.
We've tried to do a good job on this program, focusing on issues that you will actually feel here in New York City, because New York City isn't always aligned with the state of New York, and the state of New York isn't aligned at all currently with the federal government.
Right.
And I think that's what Killer Mike, if you listen to the longer clip, which you can find on Revolt TV, he goes on to really get into the specifics of local politics. I think Killer Mike's politics, like many people in Atlanta, are about Atlanta and about how Atlanta took it upon themselves to elevate their communities and the local businesses through making sure they were focused on that community. That's something that we can use information on and is a great blueprint for, I think, this upcoming cycle. Now, there are federal issues that we need to deal with. The fact that you have a legit criminal who's a president. He's broken laws. That needs to be dealt with. Guns. Assault rifles shouldn't be on the streets. Now, there's a lot of politicians who think they're just going to be knocking on doors, taking AR-15s from people's homes. That probably is not a great solution.
Not a lot of politicians who feel that way. I mean, Beto feels that way.
Yeah, that's probably not going to be the best solution for that. But we can start with them stopping making them and stop making them available.
And let me just say, I can only speak for me. I love that Beto said it. And I know it may cost him, and he probably already knows he's not going to
I love that he said it. It's just not reality.
No, it's not. But I love that he said, no, we want to take your guns.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we do. So I'm not mad at that idea. AR-15s don't have any place in our society. But you're right. That's not going to happen. You got to start with probably getting rid of bullets and then the manufacturing of them further before you're running up at people's houses and taking their guns.
Right. So I just want people, look, we ain't all going to see eye to eye. And I don't think we're supposed to, right? But aligning, and my problem has always been with this lady, Candace Owens, my problem has always been aligning with white supremacy is off limits for me.
Oh, what a hard standard you're holding.
I mean, clearly it needs to be said. It needs to be said. I am not okay with just figuring out how to get along with people who put up Confederate flags, align with white supremacist ideals, are open about it. I'm not there. Not there at all. You need to, if that's your position on things, you need to keep that to yourself. I'm not one of these guys that's like, well, at least I know where you stand. No. I don't want to know where you stand. Because I'm not trying to be your friend, but I also don't want you to think it's cool for you to just be running around out here acting like those ideals are going to be okay with me.
Well, to the point of Candace Owens, to act like you can even have a conversation with her on deeper subjects when she refuses to disavow Trump and the white supremacy. No starting point. No conversation. And that part I fundamentally disagree with Killer Mike on when he said we need to all be able to come together, all of us up here, and sit down and make our plan and present that to a candidate, basically saying, here are the ideas on behalf of a bunch of different black ideals. Candace Owens isn't at that table, yo. She's not. I don't care if she's black or not. She's not at that table. If you are standing firmly on the side of white supremacy, simply because your skin is the right complexion doesn't mean you have a voice at the table. She lost that voice. When you stand next to Donald Trump and you are like, no, she's not once disavowed the white supremacy of the White House. Never. Not for a second.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, bro. I mean, you can do what you want. I'm not invited to the table anyway with Killer Mike. I wouldn't have a conversation with Candace Owens.
Right. I mean, look, I wouldn't have a conversation with her either, and she's reached out to
She's
us.
tried with you. All she wants to
times.
do is have a conversation with you.
I'm not here for it. I'm not here for it at all. And I honestly feel like you've taken the cheap route to make a name for yourself. 100%.
That's exactly
I'm not with
right.
none of that either.
Yo, she blew up in one day when she became
The black
Kanye
face
West
for whatever.
for Kanye. She was like his the Kanye whisperer on politics.
People call her that.
Is that true?
That people call her the Kanye whisperer. I've seen that on the internet. But I do want to say that black issues of the nation, right, financially, are a separate conversation than the cultural change that needs to take place with how black people are policed in their own neighborhoods, how predominantly black neighborhoods are supported economically. These are different, very complicated issues that I hope everybody could get out there and pay attention to it. Black people ain't going nowhere. America owes us money. It's not like black people are complaining just because we think America doesn't have the potential. Black people's families have been killed in this nation over many generations. We are not going anywhere. We're not just backing off of it like that. That's not a thing, right? But there needs to be a cultural shift. And that's not just going to happen because policy gets passed. We're not backing off certain things. And I think it's a healthy conversation going into 2020 because I do think some people need to get on the same page, right? And I don't all the way agree. Look, if people want to talk to Candace Owens, Rosenberg, and they want to figure out a way to use her platform to get people to see the issues more clear, she could possibly be a useful tool. I'm not going to talk to her. But people like Killer Mike and other individuals that clearly have a better temperament than I do, right, I think can be useful.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Mike is very good at handling disagreement in that kind of setting.
Absolutely.
And making people feel like their ideas should be heard.
Right.
I'm good.
I'd also like to point out, while Killer Mike was saying he was disagreeing with his brother, he was like, I'm disagreeing with my brother T.I. And Candace Owens was like, I was going to say that. I was going to say Reconstruction. No, you wasn't.
No, that's not
You
what
were
Make
not
America
going
Great
to
Again
reference
means.
a 7 to 15 year period in American history in the total of 243, and that's why MAGA makes sense.
Oh, yeah, we met the time 160 years ago. Make America Great Again. Reconstruction.
And I feel like everyone always, when that question gets brought up, I feel so many MAGA maniacs, they refuse to answer it clearly and direct.
Well, because
I've never heard a direct, clear
because
answer.
it's aligned with white susupremacy, guys. I hate to break it to you. It's aligned with white supremacy. The other code they try to slip in is they want to talk about the 1930s to the 1990s when America was the dominant superpower on planet Earth.
Oh, that. Yeah.
That part. No, they're not talking about that either.
And what Mike said about Reconstruction was very compelling. If a black person ended up in a time machine and accidentally it jumped up, and they wanted to go check out the 70s, like, 70s New York was crazy. Let me go back. Oh, no, I came up in the 1870s. I guarantee you wouldn't think it felt great again.
Nah.
You wouldn't think this felt great.
It wouldn't.